What's going on, guys? We got to cover Toshi's chart and price action, do a little technical analysis. What we're looking at here is the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to be real honest. Here's what's going to happen with a lot of people in the community, especially people new to the community and new to crypto and new to trading as a whole. What you're looking at right now is, oh my gosh, why isn't Toshi going higher? Why isn't Toshi going higher? When's it going to pump? When are we going to $1 billion market cap? Guys, slow down, relax. What's going to happen is a lot of weak paper hands are going to get shaken out. Now, again, to each his own, right? To each his own. Continue to get shaken out. That's fine, right? Because at the end of the day, let me be completely honest with you. You have to protect your paper, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, if you're in Toshi with your last $100 or your last $1,000, then sure, you know, if it's going to pull back, you don't want to see that number on the screen get cut in half for a little bit of time, then pull your money out and just sit on the sidelines and then wait till it starts pumping. You're probably going to get it at a higher price, but maybe you can catch a good trade. Okay. This is for everyone else out there who's actually going to believe in the project. You're going to hold this. Here's my thoughts, right? Just like with any coin, with any token, any utility, any crypto on the market, things are always subject to go down. Okay, we all know that already. With that being said, if you believe in the project, you like the where the project could potentially go, then you have to continue to dollar cost average down. Okay, so Toshi's having a very difficult time getting over 13. Okay, every time we test 13, it's having trouble. We tested it here, got above it, big spike, came back down, pulled right back into support. Lower high, right? So for those of you guys that don't understand technical analysis, here's your high, here's a lower high, put in a lower high, spiked again at the 13, and then it's falling down. We've lost this trend line that I drew here that was holding for the better half of, 15 hours or so, did not hold. This breakout that we had yesterday was good. This is very bullish as we pulled back into that rising trend line that we are still holding here and back testing right now as we speak. And it is currently 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on January the 30th. As of now, we're holding. Okay, so this would be the third attempt, the third bottom, the third test. I'll get into what can happen, but let me just cover this. When we broke this downwards trend line after holding this support once, this was bullish, but what I would have liked to see if there was going to be strong momentum is we've got to start taking out previous swing highs, okay? Until you take out a previous swing high and close above it, price is just going to continue to tread down, okay? It's going to continue to go down. It's not going to go to zero, but it's going to continue to trend lower. So once we broke this trend line, what we wanted to see was a pullback, hold, great, and this bounce right in here to close over here, okay, over 13.5, 14. Then we were going to have a nice easy tread into 15 and then test this swing high. We had a resistance here at 15. I could see a little bit of a pullback to kind of make 13s the new support, the new floor, and then continue into 16 and 18. Okay, that was the plan. That didn't happen. So lower high, or excuse me, break the trend line, pull back, lower high, now we've pulled back. If this trend line does not hold, again, this purple box here, this is the ultimate buy zone, okay? For me, I added more today at 11. I plan on adding more at 8 or 9, okay? 8 or 9, I will add more. And if we do happen to come all the way to 7, I will definitely be adding at 7, okay? That's the bearish short-term analysis. Okay, what's the bullish short-term analysis? Well, we sweep below this trend line quickly, and then you have massive buyers stepping in, holding that trend line and reconfirming it. And when they reconfirm it, we get over not only this trend line once we reconfirm it, but we get over this one here. And that's going to be the need to get over 12.5, 13. And once we get over that 12.5, 13, we're going to want to see 13 get broken, and we're going to want to see both of these two swing highs get leveled, get taken out clear, like clear as day, okay? If that happens and we close over 13, we're going to be on that upwards trajectory, and we probably won't come back and test these lower prices, okay? The only thing that I'm looking at here on the chart, and again, I've been doing technical analysis for stocks, for options, futures for over 12 years, okay? The only thing I'm not seeing on this chart right here, right now, is like one of these, right? This is what I want to see. Where like you sweep a low and it's very aggressive, right? We see the big wick here on this candle where you sweep a low, it gets very aggressive, and then you start to go on this run. I would need to see a sweep, right? Like I need to see at least this area get tested. So nines, right? I need to see nines get tested. And if we sweep below nines and dip into eights and then an aggressive bounce through the eights and nines, that's probably going to be the low. And if you did not buy or were not buying on the way down, you'll probably regret it this time. Like I've seen a lot of analysis on, on Twitter or X where people are saying, if you didn't buy in the 12s or the 13s, you missed your opportunity. I still think there's opportunity here if we continue to go down. Again, between 7 and 9 would be the ultimate for me. The ultimate load zone. Now, again, God forbid this thing closes below 7. It's not going to mean that Toshi's not going to hit $1 billion market cap and beyond, because I think that it will. It just means it's going to take more time. And for most of us out there, especially with crypto and tokens, we want immediate reactions, right? We see everyone, how they put $1,000 in, they make $100,000 overnight. It's not really going to happen with Toshi. This is going to be a longer process thing, which is good for you, because once it starts to speed up, it's going to go really quickly. You're not going to really have a good opportunity to get a lot of the good prices. So I am bullish on Toshi. But again, you have to decide where is your mindset at. If you're looking for a quick trade that you're going to get into today and sell by the weekend and you're going to be up, 10x, it's probably not going to happen. If you plan on holding through February into March, I think that for sure we're going to be up here towards $1 billion market cap, okay? Which is going to put us over these highs, and it's going to be trading up here, okay? I'm putting a month's timeline on that narrative to happen. Okay, so I'll be tracking this chart all throughout the month of February, because I want to see my levels get played out, and I've done this long enough to know that my levels are going to play out. And what I'm looking at right here is if we go into overnight between January the 30th and January the 31st, and we do not start taking out 13s and holding over 13s, we will come back down to 9 and 8. Okay, 9 and 8. And if we do go lower than 8, I'm looking at this 7 spot. And that's going to be that ultimate kind of everyone threw in the towel, they sold out, and then you have all of these big buyers that were just sitting around waiting for all of you fools to sell out so they can buy at that best possible price for that run up. Okay, so again, if this does not hold, right, this does not hold within the next 24 to 48 hours, and you don't see something like this, boom, right, within the next 24 to 48 hours, okay, expect this to happen. Expect this to happen. Okay. And if worst case scenario, something like that, and then full exhaustion is out of this name, meaning all weak paper hands are out. The only people who are gonna believe in this project and actually hold this project for at least 30 days, at least 3 months, at least 6 months, those of you guys looking for those bigger moves, then and only then you're going to see something like this, right? And this is exactly how it'll look, okay? So you're going to want to get that exhaustion, and that exhaustion is going to come down in this range. Well, actually, that's too big of a range. The exhaustion is going to come down in this range, okay? This is your ultimate buying opportunity. I see that happening more so than something like this. Okay. Again, although this chart is still bullish, okay, it's still bullish, I just don't see it yet. Now, that doesn't mean that within 1 to 2 weeks' time that this doesn't happen. Okay, within 1 to 2 weeks' time, but it's going to need more time to develop. Now, again, this is not a bad thing. What I'm saying is not a bad thing, because this is the face of base. Okay, this will be over $1 billion market cap. Now again, everyone likes to go to these big lofty price predictions. Where do I personally think it can go? In the short term, because I know most of you guys are only focused on short term, and when I say short term, I mean within the next 30 to 45 days. I think 1 to 1.5 billion. Okay, within the next 6 months, this bull run that we're going to have, because we will have it, and it will be this year in 2025. I think this is going to go to 5 to 7.5 billion. Okay. Now, whether you have the stones to continue to load on the dips, because here's another situation that's going to happen. This is what's going to happen to a lot of people. Whether we come down here first and then go up, or whether we just go from here, doesn't really matter, right? We'll just join these together. Whatever those two scenarios happen, when we do something like this, right, and we take out those all-time highs and we go to $1 billion market cap, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a shitload of profit taking going on up here. Okay, so for all of you guys that are screaming 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion, okay, we can call all these price targets, is fine. There's going to be another repeat of this process that we're looking at, and the process is this process is going to happen up here. So what that means is once we go over $1 billion market cap, which is going to happen, that's a given. Okay, we don't even need to talk about that. That's a given. What's going to happen is it's going to pull back again. And notice something here. Notice this all-time high. That's going to be the area that's going to get pulled back to. And notice all of this that we're doing right now, where it's kind of like, what the F is going on, right? What's going to happen is it's going to do this, where everyone thinks it's going back up, and we're going to take out all-time highs, and here we come 5 bill, here we come 10 bill, and it's going to do what it's doing down here. It's going to do this, right? It might do something like that, because this would be the range here. And then it's going to shake out all those people once more, and then it might have that final leg higher. Okay, that's exactly what it's going to look like. Okay, so for those of you guys who are waiting for 5 bill, 10 bill, 20 bill, hell, 50 billion, I don't know, right? I don't know. You're going to have to sit through a lot of this drawdown, and this is going to take time. This is not going to be that something where you wake up tomorrow and it did all of this. It's just not. It's just not the nature of the beast. Not saying that Toshi's not a beast, because it is. It's holding up very well. But it's not the nature of how this type of narrative is going to work, okay? Because this narrative is going to be built on community. It's going to be built on the natural word of mouth, right? When you start hearing, your barber say, hey, what's up with that Toshi? When you start hearing the Uber driver say, yo, like, did you hear about that blue cat? When you start hearing about like your mom or your dad or your cousin and saying like everyone at school is saying, buy Toshi, like how it was with Doge, how it was with, Sheeb, or some of these other, big mega meme coins. That's when you have that mass hysteria, and that's when you're going to want to sell. Now, whether that's here or whether that's here, that's when you're going to want to get out. For you guys who have been in here, this whole, trenched down here, right? That's the play. But I'm giving you guys the straight facts for the short term. For the short term, this looks a little bit lower before we go higher, which is not a problem. If you are planning on holding this for at least 30 to 60 days, or again, because everyone's pockets are different. So like whether you want to sell into all-time highs here because you're going to be up 10x or 3x or 5x, that's fine, right? There's going to be more people to replace you. Or whether you're holding for, 2, 3, 4, $5 billion market cap, which is going to be way up here, right? Again, it'll be way up here. It doesn't really matter, because there's going to be more people to funnel in behind you. But what I'm saying is, for the short term here, you're going to have to give this at least a couple of weeks, because just look at what's gone on in 1 week, right? If you just realistically look at in 5 days, all of this was done in 5 days, right? And it seems like this is forever down here, but it's not. Like, look at what it can do in just a mere 2 or 3 days, right? So it doesn't take much for this to wash out, bottom out down here towards 7s, and then start this upwards run. Like within bottoming out between 7s and 9s, if that happens, right? Again, if that happens, it can only take 2 or 3 days to get right back up here and start this massive, 1-2 week rally, right? All the way back up here to the highs. Whether that rally wants to start here, because it still is holding this trend. But again, I've been doing technical analysis enough to know that we haven't had like that capitulation where you get that sell off where everyone's like, oh, I'm tired of it, right? And then you let like the bigger whales come in and buy up that liquidity for cheap. If it goes from here, I would be very surprised. I would be happy because I'm definitely holding multiple millions of Toshi, but again, it is what it is. So I'm okay with either or, because if it does dip, it just means that I'm just, going to have a few more million coins or tokens, right? But if it goes from here, fine. Like that's also a play as well. It doesn't really matter. But I'm just giving you guys a little bit of an outlook for the short term here. Don't get restless. You got to keep posting about it. You got to get on Twitter. You got to get on Reddit. You got to get on YouTube. You got to get on social media. You got to start spreading the good word, right? Spreading the memes. You have to start informing people about the project. Why is it significant? Why is it significant to Coinbase? Why is it significant to the base platform, right? There's a lot of good things going for Toshi. Those are what needs to be spread. And for those people who are serious about investing, you get them in that way, right? It's not by like, hey, if you just go ahead and put $1,000 in here, you're going to make $1 million tomorrow, dude. No, it's not like that, right? Like, come on, there's levels to this. Like, respect the levels and work the game properly. With that being said, if you want to see more Toshi videos and more frequent updates, make sure to drop me a comment down in the comment section below. Also hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. That'll help the YouTube algorithm, help get this Toshi video out to more potential holders, more potential interested investors, we should say, traders, we should say, right? With that being said, again, I trade stocks and futures and options full time. So doing this kind of technical analysis chart work is easy peasy stuff, right? It's, it's a little bit of a different game, not so much of an in and out for me on these, crypto coins and tokens and stuff, but the levels are all the same, right? And I've seen this chart pattern play out plenty of times before. I do see at least a test of this double bottom here around 9s, okay? And if I do see that double test at around 9s and we sweep below into 8s, that's going to be a load zone for me, and I'll see what we kind of do there in that area and see if we get that firm bounce. I want to see a firm bounce off this zone, because again, remember, my purple box here is my ultimate buy zone. This is my ultimate support. And look at what we've done since we broke out of that ultimate, support and buy zone. We've back tested it, the top of the range. Okay, mind you, it's the top of the range, bounced, back tested, the top of the range, okay, bounced. We haven't really back tested any of this down here. So we need to back test this structure, right? This structure needs to get back tested, and we need to shake out all the weak hands who thought they were going to make $1 million because they bought $10 worth yesterday. So with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.